Okay, so I'm back with more bullshit. The first part of the video got cut off. But I'm being told we all create this world around us, but I see what's in my head appearing before me constantly. I can wake up, think some stuff, press the button, and it happen. And it show up on YouTube reflecting everything in my head. Fucking maybe sometimes it's my words. I try to test that. And like a lot of times it feels like it's just my words. But sometimes I'm like, I didn't tell anyone that, did I? Like maybe I accidentally let that slip and the device has recorded everything I've said. But I mean told we all created this world and we're all creating it with our thoughts and our minds and who we are and what we do. And I'm looking around at it and I'm like, dude, mate, we're either all the same or or this world is really catered to who I am. And it really does. And I'm being told by these same things which obviously control the things around us that everyone's involved. But at the same time, it's like it's a lot of shit in my head and a lot of stuff even like 20, 40 years ago. Like I'm looking back, like, I've been asking the question, like, okay, so what happened 20, 40 years, 20, 30 years ago? If it's me creating it, like you guys really listen to some little retarded 3-year-old fucking running around, smashing the Duplo blocks down, jumping on the fucking uh, little tent the brother's in and all that, and getting my nose broke by the brother for all that. You telling me like you guys was listening to a 3-year-old, the 3-year-old running around just wow. His favorite toy was the car that had the caps. You put blasting caps in it, and you ram it into a wall, and then damage appeared on the side of the car, and like pap, pap, pap. For real, for real. You guys been listening to me that long. You guys, that's the cute thing of it, right? That you can just listen to a toddler and be like, we're going to put that in the world for real. Like, the toddler knows everything. And I understand, like, you know, whatever it was I was born as a wee little nothing. I understand that in certain areas, maybe I was fully progressed. And that unfortunately set me apart in the world by a considerable standard. Although fully progressed in sociology, maybe not so. But in everything else, maybe so. Yeah, physiology, intelligence, all that stuff. Maybe not letting the ego get in the way, right? Just trying to be truthful here, trying to see things as how I see it. And I mean, if we'd all was honest about how we seen things, and maybe we'd all be scared as fuck and worried as fuck that we were the problem, like I am. But you know, I was shown a lot of stuff in the last few years. Or more importantly, I paid attention. I asked the gods. I said, "It's time to show me. It's time to show me everything in this world. It's time to teach me what this world is." And maybe no one else got that, but at the same time, I asked for everyone else eventually to see everything I've seen. So if everyone else is coming along to these things, it doesn't necessarily designate that I'm not the source of this world. I mean, there are competing voices that are telling me I'm the source, and there are competing voices saying that we're all part of the source. And I've asked, even once I've been shown I'm part of the source, I'm like, well, that's a heavy weight to bear. Can I like ask for everyone else to have free will and to be creationists on their own and to go and create on their own? And you know, I don't know. I've seen some stuff that I can't explain. My eyes have seen stuff that the mind can't explain, and it's crazy and absurd. And maybe more people know about this than they're willing to let on. And the smirks and the smiles. The more smirks than the smiles kind of tell me that there are certain things other people know, but I've interrogated people across 3,000 miles here. And for a while, I just sit down on the internet and interrogated people and stuff. And I mean, it was like mild interrogations. No one understood they were being interrogated. But in the last actual traveling, I could be much more focal with my interrogation and just be like, ah! And get like answers, whether it was what I thought I'd see or what I wanted to see, and the answer would appear to some extent. And after a while, you put all those answers in a folder and you're filtering them out down through whatever filters you want to put on it, maybe the incorrect filters sometimes. But I've seen a lot of stuff that makes me think I'm inventing this world and inventing the world around us. And there's so many weird stuff. Maybe we all are the same people, and we all go through the same things in life. And but and also ask, that ties into it. What about the media? The media is always doing this and that and saying this and that. Who the hell's really controlling the media and the minds of the media, and who's that feeding it to? And if it's like, if you go inside this head, the media is fucking feeding into that fucking. The media is fucking it. I'm like beaming out satellites of the media, and they're like the HBO and all that stuff. NBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, FOX. I could describe it as my mind just beaming all that stuff out, and there's still like certain questions I ask, like, when did this happen? Tell me when this happened. And often there's an answer arriving. And I'm like, oh, God, what did I do now? And then when I say stuff like, oh, God, what did I do now? I'm like, who am I even talking to when I say that? Like, I'm talking to myself. Like, shut up and move on. And it seems like that's the best answer sometimes. If I'm controlling the world around me, if you're at the very least controlling what's inside of you in the direct assimilation and direct unification, you could use 100 words here, the direct evolution, de-evolution of everything around you. It's all right here. And if you're sitting around and if you're wasting time worrying about what you did just create, what you did just do, what you did just happen, that means it just creates this world around you where people are worried about what's going on. People are worried about what's about to happen. And you gotta really try to cut shit like that out. You gotta somehow try to cut all the negativity out. You've gotta cut out all the distractions. You've gotta cut out every little aspect of of anything that steps in your way. It doesn't matter who you are and what you've done. If what I'm seeing is correct, everything is just a distraction for what is going on right now, including making this video. But I promised in the past I'd make videos here and there. And I just got carried away. I don't have as much data right now. I'm testing this. Maybe I got a little more data. And hopefully this works perfect. Be like Donald Trump. Be like, hopefully this works perfect, right? Hopefully this works perfect, because we all know where this really comes from versus where Donald Trump does it. A little off topic, isn't it now? But where does all that come from? Let's get off topic for a second. Because that ties into what's going on in this world. That ties into who is the God, who is the creator, and what is the energy flow of this world, correct? It does, doesn't it? If you've gone far enough, you've surely seen people using these symbols more than they use any symbols. No one's using this symbol to keep devils away. No one's using that symbol to keep devils away, right? No one. You don't ever see that in Hollywood media. They're never like, get away from me, frickin' Woody Allen or Epstein. They're never saying that, right? So I get left with two options, two people, two groups. Me is everyone else, and another group who I can see are in the way, who I can see are in power structure position, doing different things, and pointing fingers, and I can blame. But I can be shown. But then I get shown things, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, are you really telling me like I'm inventing this? And that makes me wonder. You're like, that brings back the childish thing. Like, how far back have I been in control of things? How far back have I been changing the world? And I don't know. I set out for the search for answers to this world, and then I start getting told, "Hey, you're in control of this world. Like look at the world around you." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I was like 8, 12, 14. Some of the stuff I can remember happened. Of course, when I was like 1 to 8, I have no memory. And anyone who tells me they have some memory recollection of when they're 1 to 8, I don't even believe them because I don't have it. So how can I believe in such a thing I've never seen? Hey, just like this video, if you've never had this experience where your eyes been open, or if you're not part of this larger show, this larger illusion, this larger dream, if you're not even aware you're part of such a thing, then how would you know? And if you are part of it, obviously, people people are really good at lying. They're better at lying than I am, and they're really good at hiding that they're part of this show. Um, it's deception. But I don't really see it as that. I mean, I've seen enough things to make me think it's me, to make me think I'm controlling this world. I'm not trying to convince anyone really of that. I'm still trying to convince myself. Maybe they're trying to convince me of this, and whatever they've done it very well. Hey, there's still those options. But I see stuff and I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe I should just go back to when I'm a child and never speak again, never say a word around anyone again, and then reanalyze the world around me. I'd like to know who it was, who. You have to forgive me, I'll yawn and I'm a little sick. I think I ate the wrong food yesterday. I was hoping it was coronavirus and it would kill me off, but apparently I'm a little bit better today, and it was probably just food poisoning from my great diet. It's been so great. I'm like a year later, like, wow, I got food poisoning once from that. Interesting. Interesting. I must have that. Apparently, flax milk does not last as long as any other milk. Or maybe it was the other milk I drank, which was older than the flax milk and just didn't taste chunky yet. But, like I'm being in, yeah, am I really inventing this world? And how come I can't adjust certain things real fast? Like, I want to get to the bottom of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that matters in this world, isn't it? Is what's going on in this world. The flipping a burger at McDonald's doesn't matter. Making a pizza at Domino's. I mean, you're feeding people in the world, whatever feeding is, whatever the have to eat is, whatever calories are, whatever your stomach and your digestive system is. Does any of that matter compared to what is? What is those things I just said? I'm not trying to say a person stocking a shelf ain't important because we need to really fucking know what this matters. What this matters. But I am saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying there's underlying functions. There's electricians installing electricity all across the planet. It's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you go. There's electricity everywhere. But no one is simply asking, where does that come from? Where does energy come from? Where does electricity come from? How the hell are we inventing that stuff? How the hell are we channeling that stuff? How are we making it? Because we're obviously not making it. We're harnessing it on some level. What matters is the source. That's the key to everything. Because if I'm being told we're inventing the world around us, then the source is not only the root and the beautifulness that allows it to expand into a million different types of yogurt and a million different uh, milks to drink and a million different vegetables, a million different fruits. The source is how you alter it when there is a problem. The source, at the very least, or at the very most, I guess, reverse engineering is hard work. At the very most, we go back and to the source and we find where we made a flaw in that. So that's what I see as important these days, is figuring the source. And I guess ever since I've started talking, I've seen this source as important. So that's why I do what I do, and I talk about people and the things I talk about, because the source is what matters. It doesn't matter who's at that source, although it does. What matters is the source, gaining control of it and altering it from there. Especially if it's a deep-seated problem, deep-rooted problem, however you want to put it. I'm being told I'm like creating the world around me, and they're definitely, if I'm not doing it, the ones in control are definitely fulfilling that idea to post me as the person who created this world. And the only thing I got to say is, if I created this world, I'm seeing a lot of crazy stuff happen. I've seen a lot more good stuff, I guess. But I've seen a lot of stuff happen that make me think that could be possible. Traveling 3,000 miles, I've seen like cities that look like they're just like straight out of my mind as I traveled into them, and I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen events and stuff pop out of my mind like I traveled into them. I'm like, wait a minute. But as I watch and analyze these events, I'm like, wait a minute. There's like a certain group here making this stuff happen, right? They're like, it's not me. I'm not just like, do this and do that, and then all of a sudden this happens. And then I've been told things like, well, we can only do so much because there's only so much a group can do. And when I get hit with words like that, I'm like, oh, so I'm not the source. You're telling me I'm the source. And in fact, you're lying to me 90% of the time about me being the source. Whereas you must be the source if you're doing what I'm saying to do. And I mean, I'm the source of thought and idea at that point, but then you would be the source of actual action and implementation. And I don't know if it should even matter. Like, does anyone else even dislike this world except for me? Am I the only one who fucking dislikes it? I swear some other people just want to complain because they want to complain. And it's like me, I fucking, oh man. I can't even participate in this shit because I don't want to be involved in any of it. And everyone else is like fine with it, and it's just like, I'm going to be part of it. I'm going to go work. I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm just like, fuck all that, dude. Not until this stuff changes, I'm not going to be fucking part of it. Hell, not until it changes. At this point, it's really reached a point where it's like, not until I die, it all changes, and then I die, and I get my brain reset, and I get to come back. Then will I ever be happy? Because, like, would I ever be happy if the stuff in this world changed? Probably not. Because I've got like 40 and 30 and a half, I got like 40 years versus 40 and a half years on just looking at this world fucking with disgust and like feeling like pushed out and not wanted, not needed. Not that I'm crying about that, but it's more like I'm just like, fuck you. Like, why did you drag me here? Like we should have a battle. That's what the last video was about. We should have a battle to prove who fucking deserves to be on this fucking planet then. Fucking if that's what it is. Like, why am I here? Like, I want to know. I want to talk to the people. I want them to show me the paper I sign. And if they can't show me the paper I sign, I want them to fucking unsheath their blade. And I want them to fucking stand back and say, prepare to duel. Because, the way I see it, there's two things. I signed a paper, or motherfuckers force me in this world. And I either signed the paper, and I've came to the conclusion, like when I started seeing some of this stuff, but I think it was before I did, maybe a long time before I seen it, I came to the conclusion either this is my world and I'm creating it because I wouldn't have allowed it in any other way. I wouldn't have allowed myself in any other world other than a beautiful, perfect world for me. I would not have signed up for anything less. Or there's some other fucking rat fink maniacal motherfuckers in control. And, some of us might already suspect that group's in control. But, so there's one thing. Either it's perfect paradise, everything's perfect. I just don't know why don't like it. I don't know why I've never got anything I wanted in this world. Like, ooh, I got this cool shirt. Ooh, it makes me feel so good. I'm so happy all the time because I got this cool shirt. I got this cool mask I can wear. It makes me feel so good all the time because I got this cool mask I can wear, man. I've got cooler masks too. I got these cool shoes, man. So cool, man. So cool. Check them out. So cool. They're so cool. They make me feel so cool and all that, right? But, there's more to life than my shoes and my shirt and my fucking mask. There's like the whole fucking existence and shit. And I never got any of that stuff. I kind of did test that theory. Are people listening to me and trying to manipulate me to be their little scapegoat for their fucking seed, for their Abrahamic bullshit agenda? Fucking, or, can they, other actual groups can read my thought? And I've kind of seen that. There seems to be like the world seems like whatever controlled the world seems to be able to read my thoughts, but the other people seem kind of stupid. Everything else seems kind of stupid, but they'll it's almost like they prey upon me based upon my words, fucking, and try to make me think something or do something, blah blah blah, and then try to teach me some, which who knows where the fuck that information's coming from. If everyone's scared and they remain silent on everything in this world, and everyone's supposedly stupid and they don't know anything about the world, yet they're sitting here talking to me about my personal life, and it's like, well, if we're at this point where this world is an entirely group of people who are just fucking shady and lying, and this world needs pow. It needs to be reset back to one or two people living on it. And we can start with there again. We can start with some basic rules for them. Don't be a bitch. Don't act like a bitch. And fucking if you start lying and manipulating too much, you know, um, fucking goodbye. I would just we should make the new rule instead of uh, you know, blood loss. Too much blood loss kills you. Too much lying and manipulation kills you. You just fall over dead. You're like, ah! And then people are like, what happened? They're like, he was lying like a bitch. And everyone else will be like, oh, we better call the paramedics. And then everyone else will be like, why, dude? That costs money. And they'll be like, good point. Good point. Fucking too much think about it once, isn't it? I mean, unless everyone else is like all these superior beings above me, how does this world work? Really? Really? There's only so many questions left. But I'm getting blamed for creating some of this world. But I would like to know, I created the rules where Zuckerberg and his whole dual citizen pride crowd, the dual citizen pride, where even they're uh, blue and white and rainbow flag colored frickin' flags, the dual citizens pride. I would like to know where they get off, like being the ones fucking, uh, who can do all this shit. And then blame someone like me, like, because every time I talk, like, into one of these games, this is the dual citizens pride right here, right? YouTube is dual citizens pride. And the Android this is being recorded on, dual citizen pride. The Intel microchip processor in here, dual citizen pride, right? So they hear what I say, right? And The Antifa events, the Nazi events I attend to see what's going on. Dual citizen pride all day long. How the government events, the media events, everything media, everything else on YouTube, everything else on TV, everything in Hollywood. Dual citizen pride. So, yeah, of course, right? There's this other alternative option. And until you get your hands on these people and you fucking start interrogating them and asking them for answers, my answers are not going to be, I'm not going to be happy with the answers I come up with. But of course, we have dual citizen pride moving in to spread some fake virus around that kills off people and fake Chinese virus. Because let's get real, this is a dual citizen virus. Fucking Epstein, all that. You arrested the wrong person, and then all of a sudden you stopped talking about the wrong person because a virus started killing you all off. I mean, come on, it takes like nothing to figure that out, right? Maybe I'm just like so well versed on what's going on in this planet that I got it all figured out, and it's just like, oh, well, that was obvious. But I mean, really, anything that happened, you'd be like, wait a minute, dual citizen pride was involved, wasn't it? Fucking, because YouTube, Yahoo, Google, it's all dual citizen. The world's ran by this dual citizen pride, this global government pride. And how do they do that? They do that with enough power to be able to freaking create stuff in the past and in the future, and then display it to me when it's like very accurate and very detailed. And no one ever really told me the rules or anything in this game. So I really do think there's a day of retribution coming. I mean, maybe I'm the god and I'm the source of all this world, and you got to destroy me to destroy this world. And good, hand me the cyanide pill. I'll fucking destroy it for you. But other than that, it really feels like there's this other group, and they're always scared too. It's like they know me, and they've injected in my happenings at clubs when I'm trying to talk to other people about who they are. They like walk up and interject in between me and other people who are not them. I mean, I'm talking to, like, I have got no reason to really talk to most people, so I'm definitely not at a club and a bar to talk to people about clubs and bars. I'm there to tell them, like, point out dual citizen pride. And isn't it funny how we have to fucking I gotta make up a new name for them every 6 months because dual citizen pride is a very protective group. It's the most protected group on the world. And yeah, I really think that's source of a lot of this, isn't it? I mean, is it me or is it them? There's only two. There's only two questions, and I think I'm the only one who can come up with the dumb answer. It's me creating the world. Do you think I'm the god of this world? Do you think I'm controlling this world? Maybe you're being dishonest with me. Maybe you're being a coward and you're scared to tell me something that you know. Maybe you don't know anything. But people who understand where this channel came from and pay